For this tutorial, I will be using my own voice because I think it'll be kind of long, I don't know, but this is the tutorial for the renders of the quote-unquote best CapCut edit. I'm not really sure what else to call it. I'll just be showing you guys how to get those renders into CapCut without After Effects, only using Roblox Studio and Blender. The plugins that you'll need, just go to the plugins tab. You'll need load character and animation editor. I can't really help you get those. I watched like a different tutorial on how to get them because the tutorial I watched that helped me get them is now deleted for some reason. But anyways, so you're just gonna click load character and then put in the username for the person you're doing it. Obviously, I'm just using me. Make sure spawn at origin is selected and then put spawn R15. And I forgot you have to delete the spawn point. And then just drag your character like up above the earth. And then make sure to delete any 3D clothing by clicking on your character over here and then deleting any. And once you've done that, go to animation editor, select your rig, and then select. For what I did, I just kind of made it look like this pose from that one emote because that was the trend. Honestly, I'm not going to go through the effort of doing that right now for this tutorial, so I'm literally just going to, you know, make just a random pose like I would for GFX. Okay, and then once you're done, you're going to go to model, select your avatar, and then click this little anchor. And then you can go back to plugins, click on animation editor, and then just press OK. Just going to right click on your avatar and export selection and save it as whatever you want the name to be, and then save it to somewhere, a folder where you can find it. And from here you can just close Roblox Studio, press don't save, and then you're good. So then you're gonna open Blender, and I use Lightroom to do this. I'm sure I can put the little link to download Lightroom in the description. It'll show up as a Google Drive file, but it's okay, just go ahead and download it. I downloaded it myself, I'm okay. But you will need Blender installed to open that file. You're just gonna import wavefront OBJ and then select the OBJ file, not the MTL, that won't work. So just select the OBJ, import wavefront OBJ. Then you're gonna go up in this corner and click this little thing so that you can see the textures of your avatar once it loads. So you're gonna go to view, navigation, and then walk navigation. And from here you can just like pose your camera to just make it fit your whole avatar. And then for the gloss, you're just gonna select your character, which should already be selected. Go to, well, the first handle should already be selected. Put metallic at 0.2 and then roughness at 0.05. And then just for this, that's for GFX, but for this tutorial, I'm just gonna turn the metallic like higher, probably to 0.5. And then go to Lightroom, click this little down arrow on the circle thing, and then double click on back, and then double right click on back, and then just delete that. And if you don't want the blue and orange light in there, you can just go to the circles thing again, click on warm, and then go to this little ball thing down here, put the color just to white, and then go to cold, and then make the color to white. And you can run our animation and it'll just be white. You're gonna go to this symbol, click on cycles supported and CPU. Yeah, just CPU. And then make sure samples is at 60, just to get the best quality possible. And then for under viewport, samples is at 60, and then under render, samples is at 128. And then time limit is at 0. And then for advanced, this all should just be, yeah, it should all just be as it is. and then exposure should be at 1, and then turn on pixel filter, on film, exposure 1, pixel filter, turn on transparent. Okay, and then go to this little output thing and put your resolution and y and x coordinates at however big you want your video to be, and then frame rate, I just have it at 24, and then put your output to wherever you want to save, like whatever folder that you want to save your videos to. I just made an untitled folder for this. And then I would personally, I put my file format as PNG and kept all this the same, and then all the separate frames of my animation saved to that folder, and then later in Blender I could just put all my frames in and then make it a video that way. That just gets you better quality. And that way, if it like crashes mid-rendering, it also saves all your progress. But if you want to save it right to a video, for anything other than Mac, you go to File Format, FFmpeg Video, and then go down to Encoding, and then put the container as, whatever it already is. I actually lied. You want to put it as MPEG-4 because that just works best. And all the stuff should just already be set. So then for MacBook users, the container should be QuickTime, and this will just make it a video file that's able to save and be viewed on MacBook. But when I tried this, the video files got completely corrupted and wouldn't work with QuickTime, even though it is a QuickTime video. And when I just opened it in CapCut right away, it did show as like a broken MP4, and so meaning it was corrupted. I'm not sure why that happened, but it did. So that's why I went the PNG route and just made them all a video later. From here, you're going to go to Animation, and then just click this little camera thing so you can see what it'll look like. And then again, go to this little thing. So I actually filmed explaining how to do the animation, not realizing that I could just go to one of my old animations and tell you guys exactly what frames and stuff to do. So I'll actually be explaining how to do the animation, but don't listen to any frames or anything, because I will tell the exact frames and exact rotations later. Select your avatar, and then from here you can rotate however you need to. I'm not sure how far I did it, but I think I, just kind of make it look like that. So you're just gonna go ahead, right click on your avatar, put insert keyframe, and then go to the frame where you want it to stop and just leave it there, and then rotate your avatar like again to where you want it to stop, and then right click, insert keyframe again. So from there, when you click play, it should rotate as so. Okay, so then from there you can click start keyframe 0 and then end. I gave it a little bit of space at the end because I wanted it to stay there, but since the last keyframe is on 50, I can just put end as 50. For anyone not on MacBook, you can then go ahead and click render, render animation. And so then this will render all your frames, saving it to the folder that you selected, if you chose it that way. If you made it to render as a video, it'll just render all your frames and then save to the folder once they're all done. So based on how many frames you have, and based on how good your computer is, it'll take a different amount of time to render. But for me, like 100 or so frames on MacBook Air took about 30 minutes to render, which isn't bad at all. For MacBook users that the QuickTime video just got corrupted, you can try it this way first, but I wouldn't recommend it because, again, it probably won't work. So you're just going to go to Layout and click Add to Mesh and add a plane. So then you can just click off this camera thing and, go to Scale and just scale it up really big. And then move it back, and then transform, just rotate it up like this. and go to camera and make sure that's covering. Yeah, it's covering my whole avatar. So then you can just select your plane, go to this little ball thing, add new mesh, and then change the base color to whatever color isn't on your avatar. So for me, I use this like purple, but if yours doesn't have much green, you can drag it to green or, you know, anything else. So then from there, you can just then go back to the animation tab and then render animation. And then if you notice that any shadows from your avatar are, you know, having that color of your background, it doesn't matter, it won't show, I promise. You want to make sure that your render engine is on cycles, because if it's on Eevee to make it faster, the gloss won't show up. Next, I will put 2 pictures of what frames you need to put keyframes on and what the avatar rotations will be on them and what the start and end frames are. So then from there, after you export your video, you can put it into CapCut and remove the background. You can watch my tutorial on that. It'll be linked below. Yeah, so I hope this helped. I'm sorry I didn't make it sooner, and I'm sorry I can't give a tutorial for the whole entire edit, but it would just take way too long, and honestly, I don't really want to go through that hassle. So I hope this was helpful, and thank you for watching.